Djibouti, chief town of the French Afar and Issa territory, was recently the first two-day stop for President Georges Pompidou on his way to Ethiopia. The former French Somali coast, remarkably situated in northeastern Africa, decided twice in 1958 and 1967 by referendum to remain part of the French Republic with a new internal autonomy statute. The French president's visit emphasized the importance attached to this territory and its citizens by France. After Djibouti, Ethiopia, and Addis Ababa, Emperor Haile Selassie welcomed the president at the airport and had prepared a spectacular welcome in the capital. At the doors of the city, the president and his host changed from their car to a golden carriage preceded by a lancer squadron wearing helmets with lion manes. The French president and the King of Kings discussed Djibouti and Franco-Ethiopian cooperation. They agreed on the maintenance of peace in the Horn of Africa and free circulation in the Indian Ocean, as well as France's right to the Afar and Issa territory. As for Franco-Ethiopian cooperation, the second chapter of the discussions, this will be stepped up in all departments. On the occasion of the publication of Walls of Sunshine, devoted to his works, exhibition in Paris's Verrières Gallery of Jean Picard Ledoux's tapestries. Picard Ledoux, who died last year, is one of the artists who attempted to free 20th century tapestry art from its traditional role of simply imitating paintings. His major themes were the sun, the sky, the seasons, animals, and man. Jean Picard Ledoux used to say, with very limited means, one can obtain vivid expressions. The ultimate aim is pureness. I propose joy and happiness to combat sadness. They say mine is a happy creation, and that's exactly what I'm striving for. Car phones. In France, automatic phones in cars have just become a reality. Since January 1st of this year, the Telephone Administration has opened a network covering several large French cities. Equipped with a feather touch dial, these phones can be used for urban, intercity, or international calls. A number of cars are being equipped with automatic phones in the Thompson workshops near Paris. A special receiver-transmitter system was set up by the Postal and Telegraph Administration atop Ménilmontant Hill, dominating Paris, and communications can thus be established within a radius of 35 miles around the French capital. Young French author François-Marie Bagnier, 24, has just published his third work. Like all those who write, who feel like writing, and who like to tell stories and create characters and situations, I write because I feel like it. It's a necessity and a desire, like making love, communicating, talking, saying something. What makes of Head First a book or a novel is precisely what links the main character to himself and to other characters, that breathless race between him and himself, the perpetual search for the absolute, for truth, for the real, which is actually a lie because nobody feels like being himself.
Quête perpétuelle d'absolu, de vérité, d'authenticité. C'est un mensonge en même temps parce que personne n'a envie d'être authentique. Mais quelles sont mes sources? Moi.
What are my sources? Myself, what is within me, what I capture and feel. The I is the basis of all creation. I don't like the artificial. I don't like what people expect, but only what is real, that which touches the heart, the soul, the mind. It's very hard to write when you're 20. The only way to become a writer is to persuade yourself that you are. Otherwise, you'd never write. It's hard to build a fence separating what one has been or is from what people think you are. And people force you to be otherwise than what is natural for you. I just won't let it happen. The others are wrong. They've composed a picture of me. They don't know that I sold books for a living, that I lived in maids' rooms, that my life was the opposite of what it is now. From time to time you see tree trunks drifting in the rivers. You say to yourself, that one won't go far, or on the contrary, that one will drift forever. Or you say, they'll make a raft with that one, or you can't make anything with that one. I don't know. I know I feel as if I were on a wide river, but where I'm going I don't know, or where I come from. The major theme of my 3 books, whether Pleasant, Perfect, Country Residences, or Head First, is the same: love. Why Hérissie, I don't know, because it's my youth, a piece of my youth or of my aspirations, and each man nurtures deep within himself a sort of theatrical performance which he tries to show or to hide. I don't know. Maybe it's only a dream. I don't know if Hérissie exists, since we're there it exists. But there's such a tenuous line between dream and reality. I don't know, I just conjured it up from within me. I think all men hide things like distant places and lost paradises in their souls.
Je crois que tout le monde a comme ça des terres lointaines, des paradis perdus.
I've always loved parks, like the circus, or things that make little children gape in wide-eyed amazement. It's fun. No, I have to lie. If I told you how I sometimes sweat for hours over a single page, and that everything's so hard, it would be awful. It's better to let you keep your illusions. It would sadden you if you knew how we novelists suffer. No, one can't separate dream from reality. I think that if there is something you can link to each book, it's what has been lived, what has been experienced, what has been dreamed. You die from dreaming. You live in reality. A Belgian who adopted France some 12 years ago, Paul Bury, is having an exhibition at the National Contemporary Arts Center. A painter associated to the Surrealist movement, influenced by Magritte and Tanguy, Paul Bury abandoned painting in 1949 to engage in personal research on the fringe of kinetic art, his wood or metal sculptures actuated by curious, scarcely perceptible movements. Eugene Ionesco used to say of Paul Bury, his work reflects the anguish, answering the fundamental intuition that everything can happen to you anytime. Behind apparent reality, anything can happen. The world can split in 2, 3, or 4 parts. The stars can blow up. But for the present, only impending danger can be heard, the lull before the storm.